David Gilmour, the soulful guitarist for Pink Floyd, was notoriously private about his interests. However, he does something out of character today. He recounts the lives of 5 rock star women who had a profound impact on him and served as sources of inspiration. On top of that, we have Joni Mitchell, a woman whose voice could break the clouds. Because they were both introverts and troubled by the relationship between noise and stillness, they were like 2 halves of a coin. While driving across the English countryside, Gilmour was taken aback by Joni's voice for the first time. Something profound within him was moved by her talent for transforming melodies into poetry. He could hear an echo of his own spirit in her guitar playing, with its intricate voicings and wide tunings. They met up in the 17th century. While David was enthralled, Joni played a pre-Coyote version of the song at a London backstage gathering. Though they hardly exchanged words, an air of mystery lingered between them. A silent reverence. Lonely Hearts. Joni was more than simply a musician to Gilmour. She was a reflection of himself, and even after all these years, he would still name Blue as his desert island record. Then another natural disaster, Stevie Nicks, arrived. In contrast to Joni's water and air, Stevie embodied smoke and fire. She entered the room with a shimmer, not a stride. She was a whirlwind of energy, cloaked in seductiveness, when Gilmour briefly encountered her in Los Angeles in the turbulent 18s. A physical embodiment of poetry, aching and defiant. She wore lace, boots, and eyeliner loaded with stories. As if time stood still to take it all in, the studio where they first met took on an enchanting quality. The fact that a planned partnership fell through was irrelevant. Her remarkable voice was captivating, but her survival was what truly enthralled David. Stevie embodied a mystic-wrapped voice of resiliency. Her song lyrics were unmusical. From the ruins of all she had been through, these spells were crafted. The dichotomy of Gilmour, the light she embraced like a shield and the shadows she never hid, was what pulled him in. She had faced addiction, treachery, and heartache head-on, and she had crafted poetry that teetered on the brink of enchantment from each wound. For him, she embodied a certain alchemy, the ability to turn weakness into strength and thunder out of fragility. He clarified afterwards that it was her struggle, not merely her tone. The way she climbed back up from the brink of disaster not once, but twice. That one's really ambitious, in my opinion. First of all, it's hard to say no to an offer like that because you want to start doing things. Once again, Stevie embodied the mystique of rock for Gilmour, the eerie reverberation of an unbreakable spirit. She embodied the tempest more than she did any other artist. Amongst the subsequent emptiness, a tune continues to play even after the power has been turned off. Chrissie Hynde, the flamboyant punk rebel, was another figure. In the early 18th century, Gilmour was astounded by the Pretenders' onstage performance. The stage wasn't requested by Chrissie. She handled it with the confidence of someone who owned it. Just 3-minute hymns of grit, wrath, and sadness. No pretense, no illusion. Rough and profound, her voice pierced through velvet like shattered glass. In the green room of a Paris tribute event, they had a brief encounter and shared a bottle of red wine. She had a sharp tongue when it came to politics. He spoke with a gentle precision about guitar effects pedals. An unforeseen flame ignited when their worlds briefly intersected, an unfettered bond based not on genre, but on guts. Their disagreements caused friction, as well as respect. She was admirable because she questioned everything perfect in his world. No flinching from her. She remained unfazed. Gilmour, who was known for crafting reflective soundscapes, was captivated by Chrissie's authenticity. Her suffering was obvious. It was greatly praised. Poems were not adornments for her wounds. She let them to squawk. It brought back the original intent of rock, to be disruptive, risky, and profoundly human. A change occurred to him as he witnessed her fearlessly speak truth into a microphone while storming the platform. Chrissie did more than merely reiterate to David the significance of rock. It was rekindled in his blood by her. for the simple reason that it shed blood. Despite the devastation it caused, she never once expressed regret. However, not everyone who admired the performance was on stage. Some emerged from the back of the room, such as the mysterious genius Kate Bush. A cracking, unpolished, yet enthralling demo recording of hers was heard by Gilmour when she was just 19 years old. It was prophecy, not talent, that he perceived. It was otherworldly, bizarre, and dramatic. Extraterrestrial music was playing. The voice echoed back into a world that was unprepared to hear it, like a whisper from the future. He had a calm conviction in Kate that changed lives. He admired her, but that wasn't all. She was escorted inside the studio by him. For the sake of both perfecting her songs and safeguarding the special enchantment they contained, he stood up for her when nobody else would. He brought her voice to a higher level before it had a chance to shine. David was captivated by the meteoric rise of her debut hit, Wuthering Heights, to unprecedented levels of popularity. Regard, rather than egotism or possessiveness. Kate Bush wasn't merely a talented artist in David's eyes. She exemplified bold originality. An original thinker who forged her own path rather than seeking fame. She gently reminded him that limits are just that, boundaries, and that the strange can be sacred in its own right. It calls for giving up. Even after all these years had passed, Gilmour still occasionally would listen to her music late at night. She rose like mist in her speech, drawing him back to that first spark, and there were no lights or distractions. Because in Kate, he had caught a glimpse of something sacred, not only an artist. The last name that caught even the most ardent supporters off guard is Patti Smith. They were never partners. Their paths hardly met. The punk poet, though, was someone Gilmour quietly admired. Her spirituality, her quiet, her fury, all of it touched something in him. It was her very being that made an impression, not her music. A paradox in motion. Elusive but ferocious, rooted yet transcendent. At one point, he compared what she said to hearing scripture sung through broken glass. When Gilmour was going through a slump in her creative life, she would listen to her older albums to help her voice break through the chaos. Her stubbornness, her intransigence, and her unfaltering bond to a cause greater than fame brought him comfort. Patti's artwork had an air of both antiquity and urgency, similar to an unquenchable fire. He perceived in Patti a determined defiance, not merely an outcry but a discourse, not merely a struggle but a revelation. He liked her ability to infuse silence with energy and disorder with a sacred quality. She called upon rather than merely performed. In a world where chaos reigns supreme, Patti was a bolt of lightning. Art is not a competition for flawless execution, she told David. It all comes down to the truth. On occasion, the most potent realities emerge from those who never sought a platform to be heard. No amount of censorship could quell them. They all made an impression on David Gilmour's life, both orally and orally speaking. None of them were merely musicians. In the stillness of his travels, they acted as muse, mirror, and flame. A language of yearning was bestowed upon him by Joni, while Stevie was reminding him, wounds might sing. The unfiltered reality of defiance was given to him by Chrissy. Kate shattered the universe. The interludes between the notes were gifted to him by Patti. A place where darkness discovered beauty and suffering became strength. Such feelings of adoration were not transient. Even at the stillest moments, these echoes would resurface. During lengthy car rides, during the quiet before a performance, and in the pauses between guitar chords. Parts of David's own broken and broken-hearted heart could be heard in their tones. He was guided by their bravery. Their creative work provides a haven. Their imperfections serve as a constant reminder that genuine, unfiltered, and arduous work is the path to greatness, not perfection. He didn't merely take in their words. He incorporated them into every solo, song, and restless ambition he pursued in the haze of stardom. Their music was fearless in addition to being gorgeous. Not only was it relevant, but it resurfaced at the precise moment he needed it. for the simple reason that no one can weather a storm alone. Not even the most renowned voices can. Gilmour discovered a sanctuary in these ladies, a meeting ground where strength and tenderness intertwined, and music was more than just noise. It was a means of redemption. A way back when he was bewildered and a light to guide him when the going got tough. Coupled with the unwavering reality that unexpected voices can at times be your saviors.